Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are very pleased to have back in the studio for probably the zillionth time our friends from Promises2Kids. Joining us is Stephanie Ortega. She is the Chief Operating Officer for the organization. How you doing, Stephanie?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back.
Always good to have you. How long have you been with Promises?
About 20 years now.
That's all? Okay, very good. 20 years. Been an amazing organization. We're going to get to the mission in a second. And you brought two of the stellar Guardian scholars with you. Monica Quintero. How you doing, Monica?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. We're going to find out all about what a Guardian scholar is. And your colleague, Laura Hernandez, is also a Guardian scholar. How you doing, Laura?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to hear your story. And I'm joined by a return appearance of my guest co-host, Ian Solomon. He is a senior at San Diego State in leadership studies, and is going to be doing more work for us at Cloudcast Media and the Spotlight Show, and we're thrilled about that. How's it going, Ian?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back, Drew.
You kidding me? You did such a great job. Pretty soon you'll be in my seat, and I'll be sitting over there and just watching you take the lead. I know you got a question for Stephanie right out of the gate.
Hey, Stephanie. So we'll get started. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the mission of your organization.
Sure, I'd love to. So at Promises2Kids, our mission is to create a brighter future for foster children here in San Diego County. So we have really some core programs, one of which being Guardian Scholars. So the lovely ladies here today are the experts. They really have the true story. So I'll save the meat of that program so they can share a little bit more about that. Our other core programs are Camp Connect. So that's just such a special program for siblings that are separated in care. So a lot of people don't know that sometimes the brothers and sisters who once they're removed from the home, they can't continue to live together. So we make sure that those relationships are maintained throughout the year through that program. We also have a new program called Foster Futures. So that's really our homeless prevention program. And then we also have our mentoring program. So that, of course, is critical. We all know that we have mentors, whether in our personal life, through school, professional, all different areas, all throughout our life. And that's critical. And so we want to make sure that that is, such an important aspect for our programs and our foster children.
Right. You folks have been in business for how long?
We have been in business since 1981.
Man, 44 years. And coming into the studio with us is the inimitable Charles Parisi, the CEO and founder of the Cloudcast Media. He was about, I think, in a month and a half sojourn opening up Cloudcast Philadelphia and Cloudcast Atlanta, which we're really excited about. So he's back in the saddle, so to speak, in this aspect of it. So let me start with you on this, Monica, and then we'll pivot over to Laura. What is a Guardian Scholar? How do you get chosen to be a Guardian Scholar, and what do you do?
So a Guardian Scholar is a former foster youth in San Diego, and there's a lot of opportunities as a Guardian Scholar. I got introduced when I was in high school through my social worker. There's a few forms you got to fill out, a few meetings you have to attend, but overall it's a great opportunity. Within Guardian Scholars, I am in some mentoring groups. I'm in Advocacy for Change, where we learn public speaking skills and how to tell our story. And I'm also in women's leadership, where I learn about professionalism, lots of resume building, networking. And I also have a mentor through there. Her name is Valerie Lake. She's wonderful. And there's just a lot of great opportunities that come with Guardian Scholars. And it just helps former foster youth overall kind of grow to be the adults that they may not have had in their lives.
Right, exactly. So you're a student at UCSD, right?
Yes.
What year?
I'm a second year.
Second year. And what's your major?
Human Developmental Sciences.
And why is that? I mean, is it because some of the things you learned at Promises2Kids and that just really got you excited about what they were doing with you and the foster movement and all that, or something else?
Well, I actually came in undeclared, and I just knew that I wanted to help youth that were like me. but I also love science. So I figured that maybe if I learned how to help kids in a scientific aspect, I'd be able to give back to my community somehow.
No, that sounds good. And so, Laura, when did you become a Guardian Scholar?
Yeah, I became part of Guardian Scholars a while back.
Okay.
I believe right during COVID.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I applied. I did the forms and everything. I actually was very optimistic because they had actually closed the applications and they opened it up back for a little bit of time. I guess they were able to get more funding and stuff like that. So I applied last minute. I was one of the last Guardian Scholars to get chosen for that year. And then my relationship with them has just continued to grow and grow. And yeah, this is how I ended up here.
No, that's fantastic. And you're going to be going to state, is that right?
I hope so.
Okay. Did you apply?
Yeah, I just did my application this past week. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, Ian, what do you think about San Diego State? Do you give that an endorsement for Laura?
I will be the biggest cheerleader for San Diego State because
You said it.
It's the place itself, just the care that the teachers take and the students. If you really put yourself out there, which it seems like you have no problem doing, they will totally just reciprocate it and give you as much care as they've given me. So it's been incredible.
So I want to talk a little bit about leadership. And Ian is a senior in leadership studies at San Diego State. I'll start with you on this, Laura, then pivot over to Monica, and you can certainly add to it, Stephanie. Do they teach you about leadership at all through Guardian Scholars? How to be a leader? What goes into being a leader?
Yeah, I think that they do a very great job doing that. I also attend women's leadership. This semester has been kind of off because of my school schedule, but every month we get together with a group of really strong women and really powerful women. I guess you can say they teach us a lot in how to grow mentally, physically, financially, how to be able to network. And they really do show us how to be those leaders and become a leader in our community.
Yeah, what skill set do you think, and I'll be thinking about this, Monica, so I'm going to ask you the same one, and even you too on this, Stephanie, 20 years, obviously. You never stop being a leader and learning on this. So, Laura, what skill set do you think you've improved the most since doing some of this women leadership?
I would say networking. I used to be very antisocial and very insecure of my story and where I came from. And they really have taught me how to put myself out there and that it's really important that my story is heard and that I continue to share with others so that I can inspire others to grow as well.
Yeah. How about you, Monica?
I would say just overall confidence, especially within the workforce. I feel that I used to be very shy, very timid, but they've taught me how to show up for myself and be my best self when I step into these spaces. So,
Stephanie, 20 years of Promises to Kids. Obviously, it's all about leadership, communication, empathy, passion, compassion, and all that. What do you think you've ramped up on your leadership skills?
Well, I don't know how I can follow these two.
Right.
I think that we all learn every single day. I think that sometimes it's what you learn is that you are capable and able to push through the hard things, the obstacles that are put in front of you. And my goal is that what we provide for ourselves and for every one of the youth that come through our doors is the model and the examples that we can do that. I know we were just talking earlier before we walked in here, part of Advocates for Change is learning how and practicing how to overcome. And I was sharing that I don't even always love, and I'm scared sometimes to come to places like this. I don't love public speaking, never have. It doesn't get easier. You know, sometimes they say, oh, if you practice, it'll get easier. But I still do it. I still come. I still have fun. But it's still hard sometimes. And so how do we make sure that we provide the space to continue doing that and sharing that with others? And we were also saying the other part that I believe is very important is our story. Sometimes we have difficult parts of our story, but it's really important that we find how we can share that story, what is comfortable for us, and the right way to share that for ourselves so that we can advocate for ourselves and others.
Well, all three of you very poised. Monica and Laura, it's like you've been on a podcast your whole life, for God's sake. You've been doing a phenomenal job on this. It's just like when Ian first came on as a co-host, it was like he's been doing this for, are you sure you're not sandbagging on me, Ian, in this area? We're chatting with our friends from Promises to Kids. Stephanie Ortega, 20 years. She's now the chief operating officer for the organization, joined by two phenomenal guardian scholars, Monica Quintero and Laura Hernandez. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're in our 20th year. We're very proud of that. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 60 years. They've been doing just unbelievable things in our community, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's financial literacy, working with the homeless. Have just been phenomenal. Honored to have with me again Ian Solomon. He's a senior at San Diego State in leadership studies, and he's got a question for you, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie. So I was wondering if you could tell me and the listeners a little bit more about Camp Connect.
Yeah. So building on kind of what I was talking about, Camp Connect, is that it's such a critical program for those siblings in foster care. So if you kind of imagine, I don't know, Ian, do you have a sibling?
I do.
Okay. So I think we know we sometimes fight with our siblings, but we also love our siblings, even though we may not tell them all the time that we love them. But they are the only individual in our lives that know exactly what we've been through from the moment that we were siblings together all the way through our lives today. And for those who are in foster care, that's the exact same story. But sometimes the experiences they had weren't so great. Sometimes one of the siblings might have been parentified. That one sibling was the only one that cared for every single one of the other ones in that unit. And when they entered foster care, unfortunately, for many different reasons, sometimes necessary, sometimes not, that sibling set is separated. And we can only imagine the impact on that group, the impact of when you're separated, not knowing what's happening to the other one, not knowing if they're safe, not knowing if they're cared for the same way that you cared for them. And so Camp Connect is the space, the only space that is provided to ensure that they come together to be kids again, to feel safe and make sure that it's just about that sibling set. It's not about what's going on in the foster care setting. It's not about what their caregiver, what's going on with their family. It's just them being kids, being siblings, and building that relationship, because no matter what happens later, they're still siblings. And what our goal is that when they're adults later in life, they know they still have their siblings to rely on. So that's Camp Connect.
Yeah, one of the things I want to talk to both Laura and Monica about, we bring this quite a few times when we have Promises to Kids on, or some of our other friends just in time for foster youth, or a frequent guest, is that, and I'll start with you on this, Laura. Listen, adults have let down a lot of folks. That's an understatement of the world, and that you folks have experienced. And if I learned anything from talking to our friends at Promises to Kids or Just in Time or whatever, it takes a lot to build that trust when adults have let you down in so many different ways. How tough is it to build up trust with Promises to Kids, Laura? And I'll ask you the same question, Monica.
I would say that in the beginning, obviously, like any other person that's been in the system, a little bit, but it's not that hard. From the get-go, they're very supportive. They really do make you feel welcomed, and they make you feel like you're part of a family. And essentially, that is what it is. I always say that they are my second family that I've chosen. Anything that I've needed from me or my other siblings, they've always been there. So I wouldn't say that it's too hard to do so.
Very good. How about you, Monica?
I would agree with that. Of course, it is a little bit tricky at first, but we have so many amazing mentors and coordinators that make you feel seen, and they're here to give you what you need. And there's so many different community events that you go to and you instantly feel part of the Promises to Kids family. So I think it was pretty fast after that hump in the beginning.
Well, listen, I applaud you for trusting in adults or old people like me. I'm 105 years older than everybody at this table, for God's sake. But in this aspect, but that's it's the whole key to life. And you folks know that is trusting the way you're going to put yourself out there, but you're trusting the person is going to sit there and embrace what that is. We come back from break. I want to talk more about the holiday drive we have coming up at Foster Futures. And then, as Stephanie knows, Monica and Laura, we always save some time, and now Ian's becoming an expert on it. We always ask, what can our listeners do to support your efforts when we return to Promises to Kids? You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We will be right back after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, in our 20th year, brought to you by the fine folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. Always a good day when our friends from Promises2Kids are in the house. Stephanie Ortega, Chief Operating Officer, joined by two exemplary, very cool Guardian scholars, Monica Quintero and Laura Hernandez, joined by my guest co-host. He's going to be a regular co-host pretty soon, is Ian Solomon. He is a senior at San Diego State in leadership studies. Ian, question for Stephanie.
Yes, Stephanie. So word on the street is that there's a Give From Your Heart holiday gift drive coming up. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, there is. Our holiday gift drive presented by Carmel Mountain Preschool is in full swing. So we like to just make sure that every foster child here in San Diego is seen, heard, felt, and is able to celebrate the holiday season just like all of us. And we want them to have a new gift to unwrap during the season as well. And so we invite everybody to participate, and they are welcome to visit our website and donate or bring an unwrapped new gift to our office on or before December 22nd. And we'll make sure that every foster child has that gift before the holidays.
Is there any clues people have? I mean, you don't want them to be bringing a refrigerator, of course. I'm not sure how many kids can use that. Is there a certain price range? Or is it like bicycles? Is it everything under the sun?
So we just want to make sure that it's new. We want to make sure that all age ranges are kind of represented.
From when to when? From what?
From 0 to 18.
Okay.
We do not want handmade items or stuffed animals or blankets of those items, because our kids, just like any other kid, could have allergies or things like that sometimes make their way with plush type items. So we want to stay away from those types of things. Otherwise, we will take anything. I think it's important to think about our teens. Sometimes that age range is forgotten. So we do always love gift cards because those are great gifts to give so that any young adult child can get exactly what they want. And then, of course, I want to remind everybody that yes, we do love gifts and every child loves a gift, but we also have to take care of them year round. So if anybody's interested in supporting our programming and giving a gift all year round, mental health, mentoring, all these things are critical all year round.
So on the website, does it have this is what we'd like and these are some things we don't want?
Okay. So exactly. So you can visit our website. We actually have an Amazon wish list too. So that's a really easy way to give because you can order directly on Amazon and it ships to us. So that's easy. We have a donation page. You can also just give directly there in any amount. You can become a promise maker, which we would love. And so that's a monthly gift. And just any other interesting way that you would like to get involved. We have orientations monthly, so you can learn even more about Promises2Kids. And it's a great way to learn about foster youth in San Diego and get involved.
No, there's no question about it. I'll start with you on this, Monica, and then you certainly jump in, Laura, and to be thinking about this, Ian, I'm going to throw it on you as well. You talk about how important mentoring is, okay, and Valerie is your mentor in this aspect of it. But let me put it this way. you are probably a mentor to other folks. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who are you a mentor to?
Well, I work at a preschool, so I do mentor a lot of kids from 5 months to 4 years old, and I love that. I'm also, what else am I mentoring?
Well, Valerie certainly mentored you in certain areas, right? And when you mentor these kids, is it on how they can behave, how they can act, how they can be leaders, how they can express themselves?
Yeah, I focus a lot on the behavioral aspect and how to just interact with people, especially their peers, their age. There's a lot of conflict resolution that I help with, a lot of just expressing your needs in an effective way, and just a lot of social behavior.
Do you like being a mentor?
I do. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially the field you're going to be going into. So, Laura, I know that you're amazing mentor to your 3-year-old, to say the least, and so forth. Talk to me about what you have learned as a mom of a 3-year-old that you've learned as a guardian scholar.
Oof, that's a challenging question. I think that I still haven't learned enough from being a mom. I learned a lot about myself, and I have ADHD. I'm pretty sure my daughter is going to get diagnosed with ADHD soon. So learning to be a mom with ADHD to a kid that has ADHD, most likely it's really tough. It's taught me a lot of patience. It's taught me how to brainstorm and problem solve much faster than what I would imagine, because she's very quick with the way that she is. And yeah, I mean, I think that overall, it's just taught me how to be more, I would say, like, I told you it was going to be a challenging question.
No, what you answered is spot on this. And, both myself and my business partner, Charles Parisi, are, dad daughters, and we just love our daughters, okay, to say the least. And we'll never stop learning on how to become a better dad and a better learner and all that business. So it never stops. Okay. So my daughter is 31. The oldest one is, I can't believe I'm going to say this now, is 43 years old. But Sammy, the 31-year-old, teaches at Chaparral Elementary School. And so a 4th grade teacher. So Ian, talk about who is someone that comes right to mind as a mentor for you, and who are you a mentor for?
I think the first person that comes to mind is probably my dad, just because he's always not necessarily going out of his way to give that advice, but he has made it very clear that if I come to him, he will always just give me perspective and insight and just kind of almost flip it a mirror on me to get me to start thinking for myself and how I could like grow and learn. And he's always talk about like just continuing to learn. He's preached that he's a lifelong learner. And I think that kind of rubbed off onto me a little bit of just always being curious and trying to learn and realizing that it's not bad if you don't know everything. It's just knowing that with that growth mindset, you'll keep learning.
Curiosity is the name of the game. It keeps you young, keep you on your toes and all that business. Who are you a mentor for? Do you have younger siblings?
I do have a younger sibling. I have a sister who is freshman in college right now. And it's funny, I don't like to look at it as being a mentor because it's like she's my best friend, but definitely like just knowing that like I am, I guess, setting a role model and just being the best version that I can and just hoping that she picks up the good stuff.
I'm sure she'll do that. We're chatting with our friends for Promises to Kids, Stephanie Ortega, the Chief Operating Officer, joined by 2 just phenomenal guardian scholars, Monica Quintero and Laura Hernandez. I'm Drew Schlosberg at Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by the phenomenal people at Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing just great things, joined by my guest co-host, Ian Solomon. He is a senior at San Diego State in leadership studies. So, Stephanie, I'll start with you on this and then be thinking about this, Monica and Laura as well. Our listeners have been listening for quite a while. I'm not sure how they can stand me for 20 years, for God's sake, but that's what it is. But they are very, very giving and very philanthropic, I should say. They love to volunteer. They love to donate and all that. What can they do to support your efforts?
Oh my gosh, there's so many things they can do, and we couldn't do it without the community. Really, our volunteers are critical. We are a team of just over 40, but we serve over 2,500 kids in San Diego County, and we've been doing it since 1981. So our volunteers and our community support is critical. Obviously, philanthropy is the key, right? We have a large budget because of the programming that we do to support each and every child. So for those who are able, please visit our website, promises2kids.org, and make a donation today. We would be forever grateful. If you're not able to do that, we understand. There's so many other things: time, treasure, money, everything is needed. Like I said, we have orientation every month to learn more about Promises to Kids. We need mentors, more mentors like Valerie, because she and more of our mentors are the key. We need mentors for every person, every student, for that are matched with them beyond our program, right? All the way into adulthood. We need those that helped in the gift drive to distribute those gifts to get them to every single foster child before the holidays. So the list goes on and on. We have Camp Connect summer camp, 5 days out in Julian, and spending with those sibling sets to make sure that they can just have a blast being kids with their siblings. So if any of those things are exciting and interesting, please visit. Come to us, learn more. We'd be excited to have you. We need you. And so we're here for you.
What's the website?
Promises2Kids.org, and that's the number 2.
Very, very good. So I'm going to put Monica and Laura on the spot a little bit because they are poised, they can handle this, and they're very bright and all that business over here. We'll start with you on this, Laura. You are now an official spokesperson for Promises to Kids, which you are anyway. So if somebody is thinking about why should I connect with Promises to Kids, Laura, why should they?
Because of the impact that they're going to make on our lives as former foster youth. I cannot say how grateful I am for my relationship that I've created with my mentor. And it's all thanks to Promises to Kids. And they really do such an amazing job in picking who your mentor is going to be. I don't know exactly the process, but I believe they take a hint of your personality and really look at what you're majoring in and what are those like things that you're interested in life and connect you with a mentor that's going to match that. And the mentor that they've connected with, I mean, amazing. Amanda, I give you props if you're hearing this.
She'll hear it.
I hope so. But I've just really been able to create a really long-lasting relationship with her. And whenever I'm, crashing out, that's who I pretty much call for help any time of the day. She's available.
That's a great response, Laura. How about you, Monica?
Yeah, I would kind of piggyback off of that. I would say that being a part of this community is just so rewarding in many ways. Especially as a mentor, you get to watch your youth grow and you watch them use the things that you taught them and watch them achieve their goals. And what's more rewarding than that, than having a seed that you plant and watching it grow to the best of its ability.
Well, listen, Stephanie, I know you and the whole leadership team at Promises to Kids are just absolutely over the moon on Laura and Monica. Certainly are well on their way. They already are young community leaders. They're going to be even better. And the footprint that they are going to establish is not just going to be benefiting themselves and, of course, your 3-year-old daughter and all that, Laura, but everybody else that you do. So thank you for coming back in. We know that this won't be the last time we see Promises to Kids, especially with all the Guardian Scholars. Wishing all 3 of you nothing but just great success moving forward. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast in our 20th year. Thank you so much, Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in the community. Ian Solomon, another fine job as being a guest co-host. You're getting very comfortable. You'll be moving over to this seat pretty soon. And to our listeners, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.